Hello everybody, I hope you're fine. We are going to do a little garage tour today. It's a long time I haven't done one. So welcome to the channel. Here is my female character who's got the Keith Lund t-shirt. I'm very proud of it. And I'm here in my favorite property. I really like this one, even though there is only a six car garage. I think the view is marvelous. You can park your chopper here. There is a swimming pool. I like this one very much. Let's have a look what I have stored in this garage. I think this is my 70s car collection. So mostly cars from the 70s. Because I am from the 70s myself. There we are. So let's go first person so you can see it better. Of course, the mud scooter, which you can see in the movie Quadrophenia, with Sting driving it. It's a beauty, isn't it? Here is the little Mini, Austin Mini, the car I wanted when I was 18 years old, but I got a 2CV Citroën instead, which wasn't bad either, but bon, I like this car a lot. Here is the van from the Scooby-Doo cartoon. That used to be a Citroën, a very beautiful one, very comfortable one. The one that was supposed to follow the DS. Very nice car. Here is a Moroccan Grand Taxi, Mercedes-Benz. There are two kinds of taxis in Morocco, petit taxi, small taxi, or grand taxi, big taxi. And generally the grand taxi is an old Mercedes-Benz from the 70s, and that's the colors you can see mostly in Morocco. And finally, that used to be, to me, it looks like a 504 504 by Peugeot, which was a very popular car also in France in the 70s. Voilà, so the 70s garage. Now let's try to go to another garage. We are going to Eclipse Tower. Well, let's steal a car then. Eclipse Tower is right in front of us. Not very far. Ah, of course. Oh, come on. Why did he have to die like that? It's just a little shock. Yeah, I'm on the wrong side. There we are. So let's start with the end. That's the Cognoscenti, the armored version, the long one. At a period of time where I really like that dark metal color. For an armored car, I think it's quite alright. Here is a special car, a special Rockstar car. I like to collect them. Maybe you recognize it. It is the car belonging to the scientist next to the satellite dishes in Senora Desert. Generally there is a van with it, but you cannot store the van, only the car. So why is it special? Because the white color, the paint, is a little bit worn. So actually you can see a difference between the bumpers and the paint. I forgot the name of this one. Yeah, the Alpha. That's really many years they have this one. I like it, but it's a little bit too long for me. I prefer short cars. That is the Shafter, armored as well. I think that's the long version too. Good car, a little bit lacking traction, but pretty car. This one is the Chameleon. It's an electric car. I don't really like electric cars because I miss the noise from the engine, but that's really a good car. Yeah. I think I got it for free at the beginning when I bought the game. Here is a beautiful British car. Looks like a Jag. So I gave it that typically British green outfit. That's a car I don't really like, but the driving is pretty cool. That's the Rapid GT convertible. Too thin, but good traction, funny to drive. That's the ladies' coupe, Conoscienti Cabrio, beautiful car. Here is another special Rockstar customized vehicle, the Vader. As the green version, there are 4 special Vaders. So you can see the rims are green, and the green itself is a special color. You can check in LSC, you will see. Here is, of course, my Oppressor 1, which I prefer actually to the Oppressor 2. Now let's take the Oppressor. And we are going to go to Timsel Tower, which is just next door. So off-road, mostly off-road vehicles. Here's the Patriot, the stretch version. I don't really like this car, so I took the stretch version because I think it's funny. But one of the van, the Bravado Paradise, which was released in the first DLC, I believe, back in 2013, 14. Here's Michael's son's car. This is also a special customized Grizzly by Rockstar. You can see the paint is quite original, quite unique, which is why I have it. Here's the Bowler, the armored Bowler. I think it's the long one as well. Yes, that's the long one. Here's a funny car, the minivan, which I like the livery on it, but I had a problem because my crew sticker was reappearing all the time, but fortunately Rockstar has finally fixed it. So that car used to be at my nightclub, but you will see why it's no longer there. Here is another, well, you can see the surfer here. This surfer has the surfboard on top. I have 4 more surfers, but with no surfboard. Here's another car, a French car that was also made by Citroën. It used to be called the Méhari, and it was basically a plastic car. So very convenient when you wanted to wash it. Nice to go on the beach with it. So that's also a car that was from the 70s. A Mesa with the closed back, So you have two versions, one open, one closed. And finally, another vehicle from the 70s. I used to have this bike in 125cc as the Enduro. I'm still having quite a bit of fun with it. There we are. Now we are going to go to Del Perro. Ah, classic. No, I passed Del Perro, sorry. We'll go to the office after. Another off-road garage. The Sand King. Always fun to drive and jump with. I forgot the name of that truck. The Guardian. Yeah, Guardian. I don't use it very often, but bon, it's a funny truck, so let's keep it. Yeah, that's the Mesa from Merryweather with the closed back. Also two versions, open and closed. A beautiful vehicle, the Riata, with the redwood livery. This is the special Dubstar. You can notice the wheel on the back is not in the middle, so it doesn't cover the plate. I have that's one of the chrome or the gold, but I have repainted it because when you repaint it, I don't know if you can see on the video, it gets a kind of molten effect, which we cannot really see here. Forgot the name of this one, Roller. Yeah. Also quite an old car, one of the first off-road, I mean proper off-road vehicle that Rockstar gave us. That's a recent vehicle, the Freak Roller. Very nice. Very nice for rally, I guess. And the trophy truck, which is always funny because it tends to lose all its parts as you drive it. So you end up with a kind of big buggy, which is pretty nice. Here is another Vader, another special Vader, the red one with the red ring. And that's the Manches. Also nice off-road vehicle. So that was Del Perro. Now let's go next door, because my office is just next door. Because the view is pretty good from there. Let's take the bike. It's right there. Let's go to the third garage first, which is dedicated mostly to Merson vehicles, but not only. Voilà, so on the ground floor I have my luxury vehicle, because this woman likes luxury. The Revolta, which is actually a pretty good car. Excellent driving, fast, quite nervous. Very nice. This one I forgot. That's the Windsor. Yeah. With a kind of snake livery. This one is the Windsor Drop, which I like very much. It looks like a car proper for the Côte d'Azur in the south of France, Saint-Tropez. Perfect. This is just the Super Diamond. There is a special Super Diamond spawning at the golf course in a special unique color, but you cannot take it to the garage. It's a hot vehicle. Here is another Rolls-Royce, which I like because the livery, Stafford. The livery looks really like from the hippie time. Could be John Lennon's car or McCartney's car. And another luxury vehicle from the past. The Roosevelt. Very nice. That's the original Roosevelt. The first that appeared in the game. Okay, here we have muscle vehicles, starting with the Ellie. Beautiful car. That's the Rapid GT. I love this one. The Ellie and the Rapid GT looks like they come from the same manufacturer, but I think I prefer the Rapid GT to the Ellie actually. Here is the Sabre Turbo that has been to Benny's. The flame livery, of course. Here's the Stallion. Not my favorite muscle car, because it's a little bit too big and too high for me. But yeah, it's a beauty too. This one's so nice, is the Blade. Also quite ancient in the game, but quite a beauty, with air intakes that are quite original. You don't really find it on other models. Here is the Faction Custom, the Donk. I still haven't understood really what's the point of putting wheels like that on a normal car, but bon, it's original. Voilà, and the Gang Burrito van, which is a beauty. I really like this one. I like vans as well. This one is one of the best vans we've got. Okay, so let's go to the last floor. We've got more muscle vehicle. The Dominator GTX. You will notice that several of my cars have this kind of livery, this kind of paint, which is anything dark really, black or dark red or dark purple, midnight purple, something dark with orange pearlescent. You can choose again which orange fits the best to your choice, but it gives kind of classic look, classic paint look, which I like. Okay, that's, forgot the name again, the Gauntlet, yeah. There are too many cars to remember all the names. That's the special Gauntlet, which normally you should get for free. But it's a nice car and I really like the driving of it. That's a Buccaneer that has been modified at Benny's. Give it a kind of Mexican touch to it, I think. Right? This is another special Rockstar customized vehicle. Look at the paint, it's really a beauty. Not too hard to spawn, it's mostly in the gang areas. Peyote it's called. This one I forgot the name, it's a Chino, yeah, Chino Custom, so again, car that has been customized at Benny's. like it says on the back. With a chain driving wheel. Alright, and this one, yeah, well, not my preferred one, but it reminds me of the 101 Dalmatian Cruella. He used to drive a car like that, I believe. Okay, and here is the funeral car, which is called the Lurcher. It was released for Halloween 2 or 3 years ago. It's got kind of, you don't really see, but the body is moving on the back. Right, so this was my third office garage. Let's go to the second, which I believe shelters the sport car collection. Come on. Thank you. Right, so here is the Paria, which is the fastest car in the game. Even though it's just a sport car and not a supercar, this is faster than supercars. Brilliant car, really good. I advise you to use that whenever you go racing. Perfect vehicle. This one is the Pfister Neon. Again, I don't particularly like electric car, and I think this one is. The Coquette. I like the livery of this one, so it hasn't changed for years. This car must be like almost 5 years old now. Right, the Festa. With dark metal livery with pearlescent gold. You recognize this one, I suppose. The LG RH8, which you can get for free. But regardless, it's really a good car, and I really love it. Right, that's the Bestia, not my favorite car really. But it has good acceleration, kind of funny drive, but yeah, too long, too big for me. I would not choose something like that. More sport vehicles with the Spectre. Good car, this one, the Spectre. The Lynx, not really the best one in the collection, but looks alright. Livery is alright. Shape is alright too. It's just the driving that is a little bit weak, I found. Tinka Jester, again a very old model, but very good car. I really like this one. Excellent driving, nice engine sound, really cool. I like this one. Yeah, well, this is an Obey 9F. It's not really my favorite looking car, but the driving is really funny. It's different from the rest, and it's kind of nice. Okay, here is another Porsche. That's the Comet SR. I have all the Comet. I love Porsche. Beautiful. And finally, another Porsche. That's the first one we had in the game, the normal one. Perhaps Pfister Comet. And then this one, the Houston, which is really not my favorite car, neither for driving, nor the look, nor anything. Looks like a bathtub. No. But bon, original though, but not my favorite car. I believe we have a Sport Classics on the top floor. Yeah. Starting with the Swinger. I didn't give it the British flag because really it was a little bit too much. I find it quite pretty like this. Here is the Carin, yeah, the old Carin. Beautiful car. It really looks a bit like the LE, but well. Several people who don't play GTA, when I show them my garage, they say, but the car all look the same. I'm like, it's not entirely true, but it's not entirely wrong either. But then again, if you go in the street and look at the cars there is today, they all look the same. So which one is that? Jester Classic. Yeah. Nice car this one. There is the Mamba, which has been recently updated with liveries, so since they look pretty, I put them on. What's the name of this one? The Sterling GT, an old Mercedes. Really nice car, really, really good. Handles really well, the sound is great. I love this car, very good. Yeah, this one also is pretty good, the Casco. A bit heavier, but good handling, funny to drive, great sound, great engine sound. I like this car very much. Those two cars, I like them very much. And then the Antique Coquette, which also received a new liveries not long ago. So yeah, there we go. Horrible handling, but fun to drive. Let's go to the first garage. Nice view from this office building. I like this one. So yeah, supercar garage. We start with the Reaper. Nice car. Handling is a bit different, a bit harder than I expected, but it's a beauty, isn't it? Very nice car. This one is the Viserys. Followed by the T20, of course, a classic in the game, one of the best racing car for a very long time. It's not the best anymore, but it still handles beautifully. And it looks pretty as well. Here is the Osiris, another excellent car for racing. Used to be. Great handling. Braking is a little bit more troublesome, but it's an easy car to drive. You can race with that, no problem. Forgot the name of this one. Yeah, GP1. A little bit disappointing, really, this car. Both in racing and in looks and in sound engine. Not my favorite, really. But it's okay, it looks alright. And this one also not really my favorite, the 811. Very strange body. I don't find it really attractive. Handling is so-so. Not my favorite. But bon. Let's go to the second floor. Right. The SC1, Great car. What's this one? Oh yeah, the Cheetah Classic. I like this one. It's a beauty. Again, that's probably a car that was issued in the 70s, early 80s. Nice one. This one also. That's the Turismo Classic. Turismo R is a very early car in the game, but one really of my favorite car for the look, the sound engine, the handling. I used it for racing very much, and the Classic is pretty good too. So I definitely like the Turismo in GT Online. Was that Ardent? Yeah, so the Ardent. Also a beautiful car. This one I don't really like it, the Torero. Although it looks really like the 70s, but bon, not the best that was made. Which one is that? Infernus Classic. They look very similar, don't they? I prefer the Infernus though. And finally the submarine car, Stromberg. Nothing really special in the driving or in the look, but bon, it's a submarine car, so you either use that or the submarine that came with the game, which is not really so convenient to use since you have to spawn it and get it. It's faster to just use the Stromberg. Last floor, more classics. The Vaca, which I keep on saying, this is one of the most beautiful cars in the game. It's there since day one, but that's it, you know, this is a beauty. Of course, the Turismo R will be a little bit more better performing than the Vaca, but I find the Vaca very beautiful too. Okay, so what's that? That's another electric car, the Cyclone, which is now pretty much the fastest supercar you can use in racing, but bon, it's electric, so it's silent. Looks good though. Pity there is no engine inside. I mean, no petrol engine inside. I think they've got to do something about electric car, just add a fake sound or something, but this electric silence really doesn't match with driving for me because, you know, I'm old. Here's the Penetrator, not my favorite car. Too long. Does not handle very well either. Okay, so here's the tires. It's a must if you go racing, but the back is too long for my taste. Here's another good racing car in a supercar category, the Wagner. Might be the, anyway, it's one of the fastest one you can get. Nice one, but bon, not really my favorite. Here is a Cheetah, again a car that was there since day one. We saw the Cheetah Classic before. Here is the original Cheetah. And finally the Tyrant, which is weird. It's huge. Like Trump would say, it's huge. And I don't know why it's huge, since it's a supercar, and there is no reason for it to be huge. I think Rockstar got it wrong. The proportions are just not correct. Well, so that was my office garages. Let's go to get back my bike outside. We are going to North Conquer Avenue, where I have two properties. Two properties next to each other. I had more 6 cars garage before, but now I just need the space, so I bought those two properties next to each other. It's easier to go from one to the other. Voilà, so that's more my rally car garage. We start with the GP200, which is really nice. Good handling, rally handling. The back is a little bit weird. When it rains, what happened to the water? It must accumulate on the back, I don't know. Here is the Michelin GT, so again it's like a car from the 70s, early 80s. Really fun to drive, I like that. Here's the Carwin with the new set of livery which we received 2-3 days ago. I like the Carwin, but it's definitely drifting too much. But when you want to do drift, then it's perfect. What's the name of this one? Retinue. Again, it looks like a car from the 70s. Nice one, fun to drive. Followed by the Omnis. I was a little disappointed by the handling of this one. Still very fun, good engine sound, good look. I like the look of this one. Definitely Rockstar got to do something with their headlights. That's the only part of the car that doesn't look well. It really looks like a picture. I mean the main one, huh? I'm not talking about the lights that have been added. I mean the 4 headlights original. They simply don't look like headlights, they look like pictures. But bon. What's that? The Primo Custom, yes. So this one has been retouched by Benny's. Nice car, really nice. Of course, don't go racing with that, but it's fun to drive. Yeah, this is the Sultan RS from Benny's. Really good car, beautiful, good sound, fast, great. The only thing it misses is that it's not armored. Otherwise, it will be almost as good as the Kuruma. Here's the Bolocan with the livery. I found the livery pretty cool, so even though Bolocan is not really the car we get, I got it. I think I replaced the Bullet with Bolocan because I didn't like the Bullet anyway. And the Bolocan seemed to be quite faster now. I don't know what they might have done something to the engine of this car because it's a little bit better now, I think. Okay, the Tropo or something like that? Yeah, Tropos Rally, a mythic car, again from the 70s, early 80s. It's great, but a little bit too light. Right, here is another special Vader. That's the orange one. We saw the green one, the red one. Here is the orange version of it. So again, that's Rockstar made with worn orange paint on the rims. Okay, let's go to the garage next door. We don't have far to go. Let's go back to first person now. This is my mini garage. This is for small vehicle. So you recognize here the Raptor. Not my favorite, but it looks pretty. It looks funny. I will never drive something like that in real life. The Mini, it's a mini car, so that's the EC. That's the modern Mini. We saw the old Mini in the 70s car garage. So also with a British paint, of course. That's the Russian Cheburek. Funny to drive. Funny look as well. Brioso. That's supposed to be a Fiat, but I think it's not a success. It vaguely resembles the Fiat, but I think it's a little bit too long to be the Fiat and too narrow. And I really don't like the handling of it. Here is a funny one, which normally you wouldn't put in your garage, but since I had a mini garage, I got the Azea, which is not disappointing at all. Of course, it's too small, but it's fun. It's fun to drive, quite fast, nervous car, nice. Right, this the Blista Compact, not really the most beautiful car in the game, but very fun to drive. I prefer to drift with this one than with the Futo, actually. Okay, that's the Kuruma, so definitely the car to have. If you have only one car, that's the one to get. Of course, you won't be racing much with it, but it's really convenient to do the missions, to go anywhere. Basically, you don't get shot when you're inside that. It jumps really good, it drifts pretty good, it's nervous, it's got a nice sound engine, great handling. This is one of the best cars in the game. This one's funny, looks also like a car from the 70s, the Rhapsody. Looks funny, looks nice, I like it. Okay, and that's the Sentinel with the plate Duby. So her name is Duby. And the fourth and last special Vader made by Rockstar, the blue Vader with this strange yellow, worn yellow rim. It's really a beauty, this one. I like this one. Right. So now we can leave North Conquer Avenue and we are going to go to the nightclub. Let's go back to this mode. Was that a scooter? I know I should just fly down there, but you know how it is. You're sure to crash. It takes time to get back up. You might even die. So I just don't want to make unnecessary delays in that video, which is going to be pretty long. Alors, voilà. So that's the nightclub. Each of my characters have a nightclub, and each of them use the garages that come with the nightclub as a museum to Rockstar fine vehicles, which means basically rare vehicles. So we're gonna start with the entrance of the museum with probably one of the most iconic rare vehicle made by Rockstar. I think it's the sign made by Rockstar to tell the players maybe you should look around a bit better and you will find special paints, special rare paints and vehicles. So this is probably the least rare vehicle. If you get my meaning. That's the Oracle XS with that blue paint. Take it to LSE, you will see it's a very unique blue paint, but you can find it very easily as soon as you play the game for maybe an hour, and you will find it spawning a bit everywhere. But it's a beauty as well. It handles well. It's a nice car to have. Voilà, so the Oracle. That's the shop window of the museum. Let's go to the first floor of the museum, which starts in basement level 2. Although I could show you basement level 1, but I guess everybody has got it. Let's start with basement level 1, actually. Yeah. Makes more sense. Basement number 1 is for the vehicle that are being used for the missions of the nightclub. Every time you sell your stock, you'd be using one of those 3 vehicles. But you will see that I have only 2. And both my characters have only 2. And there is a reason for that. So this is the burrito. I think it's a burrito, yeah? Ah no, it's a Speedo. The Speedo custom that actually came with the nightclub, but not looking that way. It's really nice, but the driving is a little bit different from the other vehicles since you have to use both joysticks. Same thing for the truck, which also is a beauty. I love this truck. It's a monster. The Pounder. Look at that. Imagine driving that. Wow. With barbed wire on the top. Not sure why, but it's all armored. It's really impressive. I really like this truck. And of course I missed the one in the middle, which is the mule. And the reason why I didn't buy the mule is because I learned early enough that whenever you want to sell your nightclub stock, if you're not fully stocked, if you have like average size stock, then it's going to be the mule. So you end up mostly using the mule when you have it. So if you don't have it, then it will force the game to choose either the truck, which has a quite good handling and is armored and is solid, it's pretty good, or the Speedo, which is also quite good, well armored, bit lighter. Of course you won't push the traffic away as easy as with the truck, but they are very good. But the mule instead is very clumsy, very slow, very boring to drive. So I learned that early enough so I could avoid buying the mule. And I don't think I ever will, because I'm very satisfied with either the truck or the van. They do a very good job at the mission for selling our stuff. So now let's go to the museum itself, because those two are not rare vehicles at all. So the museum owned by my female character has rare cars, but not the most rare car. There are cars that will spawn if you do a bit of research. You will find them with not too many difficulties. So we start with the 2 Sentinel XS that are spawning close to Eclipse Tower, basically at night if you wait until midnight and just cruise around with any car. You should be able to find those 2 customized Sentinel. They sell more than the other street cars as well, but I like to keep them. They're quite pretty. The Dubstar Chrome and the Dubstar Gold are spawning in the LSC garage, in the car park of the LSC in the center. You will need a friend who has one in order to spawn more. These are the gangs Tornado, which are in the gang areas. The dead end street with the gang. That's where you can find the purple one. A little bit further you can find the yellow one, and a little bit before you can find the green ones. They are all spawning in the gang areas. They have either tornadoes like that or peyote like that. They spawn in the same area. there are 4 different models of vehicles spawning in the gang areas. These are 2 of them, the Peyote, 3 Peyote and 3 Tornadoes. Let's go to the next floor. So again, the same kind of rare vehicles spawning in the gang areas. You recognize the 3 Buccaneers and the Mañana, the 3 Mañana. So 12 vehicles in the gang areas. This is the Dune buggy, but with no body, just the frame, which spawns close to the beach in Paleto Bay. You have to go there with a normal buggy and you will find this naked one. This one is a little bit different from the other because it cannot be insured, but you can find it on the Vespucci beach after 10 a.m. next to the lifeguards huts. And you can steal it, put it in your garage. But remember, you cannot insure it, so be careful. Finally, 2 Sand Kings that are spawning at the LSC, which is close to the Senora Desert. Go there with a Sand King after 10 a.m. Cruise around, and you should find it in the car park in front of the LSC garage. 2 models, blue and a yellow. Let's go to the last floor of the museum. Well, I told you that I had more surfer van. These are the 4 surfer van, specially made by Rockstar, customized by Rockstar, which you can find on the beach. Just look on YouTube and you will find all the information necessary to get them, to spawn them. It's not very hard to get them. This is the dune loader. There are 3 different dune loaders, not only because of the colors, but because of the load. So this one is fully loaded, this one is half loaded, and this one is empty. This one spawns in the mountain. It's the Tornado that belongs to the Mexican musicians. So it's got Mexican hat, 2 guitars, and Mexican flag on the back. Again, go to YouTube and learn how to get this car. You might not be successful the first time, but it's not really hard to get. And again, in Paleto Bay, close to in the car park of the LSC, if you go there with a rat loader, you will see those 2 special rat loader made by Rockstar spawning there. Voilà. Let me take you to the last floor so we see everything that is in this nightclub. The Terror Bite is parked down there, all alone, leaving a lot of space. But bon, that's the way Rockstar wanted it. Well, so of course it's a must to have this truck since it's got plenty of options in it, including flying a drone. It's got the Oppressor MK2. Well, let me show you. with a special livery. It's quite nice. Okay, now time to go to the special car garage. Where's the exit? Well, actually I can just leave the facility by this door, it's gonna be quicker. Where's my back here? Where's that vehicle warehouse? There we go. I'm not sure if flying is faster than driving, but well. Where am I going? Come on. Okay. Not many things in that garage, really. I have only one, I think. I sold everything already. Okay, so anyway, that's not what I want to show you. Right, so we've got the whole collection here. The quad that goes in the water, looks like a bathtub again, smaller one. Recognize that. Gold and dark metal. The idea is great of this one, but it doesn't last long enough. The car gets destroyed too quickly. But otherwise it's fun.